What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome back to the Dapper Snapper Gaming channel. Now, today we're going to be adding another page to our competitive decks, and that is of Cobalion, the second of the Swords of Justice. And we covered Terrakion last week, so if you missed that episode of competitive decks, make sure to check the iCard above for that if you want to know how to use him on your team. And today we're learning how to use Cobalion, who is, in my opinion, the second best, Terrakion being the best. But this thing's got a lot of really good things going for it as well, and I want to go ahead and talk about those. So make sure that you leave a like on this video, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any more of these episodes. We will definitely be talking about Virizion later on the channel, and so make sure that you don't miss that. So, what is good about Cobalion, and why is it nice this generation? Well, first of all, we have base 108 speed. That is very good this generation. Anything over 95 is actually considered pretty fast this gen so far. And, you know, that will go up as more things are added into the game. But for right now, 108 is actually very fast. And so it's really nice seeing this thing be able to put in so much work just because of that speed tier. It also gets access to stealth rocks, which you do see on this set, and so this thing can come in, force a switch because it is so fast, and go ahead and set up rocks. It also can set up swords dances. It actually gets the ability to boost on both sides, which we will talk about later. Since it does have base 90 in both attacking stats, it can be physical or special just as easily. Now, on this set, we also are running a Rocky Helmet, but you also could run a Shookaberry. Now, Shookaberry will take half of the damage from a ground type attack the first time, and this really helps Cobalion to live a little bit longer than it would, and it also allows it to deal with things like Excadrill. Excadrill normally would be able to just kill this, but with a Shookaberry, you are going to be able to live it very nicely with your nice defensive stats, as well as a Shookaberry taking half of the damage. This allows you to actually beat a Excadrill 1v1. So definitely consider running a Shookaberry over the Rocky Helmet, but I like Rocky Helmet just because you can take several physical hits on this mon and start wearing down your opponent. So the next set is going to actually be a double dance set. And basically we just took off rocks and added rock polish. So this thing can also boost its speed, which is pretty amazing too, which at 108 speed, once you get up a rock polish, you're gonna outspeed even most scarfers. Yeah, outside of anything faster than you that is also scarfed, which the only thing that I can really think of would be a Gengar. Outside of like Scarf Gengar, there aren't really things that are faster than this that are really common scarfers. Most of them are at base like 95 speed, so they'd be slower. And so, yeah, that's pretty cool. So you can set up a swords dance, and then you just start wrecking with close combat and Iron Head. Now, this thing does not get any type of ground type coverage, which is unfortunate. So you do have to be careful with what this thing can deal with, because there are a lot of things that end up walling this, and there's not really much that you can do about it. So make sure that you are aware of what your opponent has on his or her team, and then once your appropriate counters out of the way, start setting up and go to town and start wrecking other people's teams. Now, next we have basically a suicide lead set, but not so much suicide, I guess. We have Stealth Rock, we have Taunt, T-Wave, and Iron Head. You can switch out T-Wave for Toxic if you'd like, but basically this set is there to be an anti-lead. So it's there for when your opponent leads with something wanting to set up hazards. It also helps against things like Jellicent, who might want to burn you. It helps against things that want to use Strength Sap. It helps against all of those things that want to set up themselves, anything like that. Yeah, it really helps. Somebody brings something in that is a setup sweeper that normally Cobalion wouldn't be able to deal with because of its lack of coverage, and then you taunt it and it's kind of dead in the water. So taunt is actually a really nice move on Cobalion. I think it's really nice. Plus then Thunder Wave, you can slow down whatever the switch in is, or if they stay in, you can paralyze that. And then we've just got Iron Head to hit hard. I'm not running close combat just because I don't want to lower my defenses on this set, just because we are going for that bulk a little bit on this, just for some survivability, but it's up to you. You could also go with close combat if you want that fighting type coverage. Now, next is Calm Mind. Like I said, base 90 attack and special attack allows this thing to use both physical and special attacks, and it gets about the same kind of coverage on both sides, except that this thing also gets Volt Switch. Now, Volt Switch is amazing on a mon that is this fast, in that you don't have to run a Scarf or anything, and you just click Volt Switch, somebody switches in an appropriate counter, which there are many, and you just get out. So watch out for things like Excadrill, and watch out for things like Hippowdon. Those are out there, and those will definitely give you some trouble, but outside of those, you know, you're pretty free. Something comes in that would be a counter, you Volt Switch out instead, and you're now in a great position. But otherwise, you've got Flash Cannon, which has a chance to lower their special defense, and you've got Focus Blast, which hits really hard, but it has a it's notorious for missing at 70% accuracy. You know, good luck with your accuracy. We all know that my luck is that I will always miss it, but you never know. If you have really good luck, then definitely try to run this set. It works just as well as far as the stats go on the special side. Just, you know, a lot of times people expect this to be physical, and so bringing a special one can definitely throw your opponent off. So it's definitely nice to try this out every now and then. All right, the second to last set we have is Choice Banded. Now, Choice Banded Cobalion is actually pretty cool because it does hit pretty darn hard using that base 90 attack, and this gives you a free +1. Now, I would think you possibly could switch out Zen Headbutt for Quick Attack. This thing also gets Quick Attack, and you know, Quick Attack is very weak, but we talked about in our Terrakion video how it can help you pick up those key KOs, and it does quite a bit of damage even coming off of a base 90 attack. So it's there. Zen Headbutt, though, is there for things like Conkeldurr that may want to switch in. It's really nice for those. You also have Stone Edge on this set. Cobalion now has access to Stone Edge, which is pretty cool. And yeah, it's really good coverage. I think that this is a pretty neat set right here. You could also still run Volt Switch as well. Either one will work just fine. Alright, so the last set is going to be our meme. Always going to be a meme on this channel. And this is going to be a manual sandstorm setting Cobalion, which is pretty uncommon. I would have to say I've never seen this, but I don't think it's necessarily the worst thing in the world. And the reason is because this gives you a boost to your special defense. Anytime that you are in Sandstorm, if you are immune to Sandstorm, being a steel type, which he is, then you get a boost to your special defense by 1.5 times. This helps to patch up that weakness of 72 base special defense, and so this basically makes him more bulky. And that's why I like having this. And maybe Volt Switch isn't the best move to put here. Maybe you would want to stay in and use like Sword Stance or something, but I think that this is actually pretty nice. Just being able to cover that weakness, and you could also run like max HP and make this a bulkier set and just make it a lot more support, you know, Sandstorm, Stealth Rock, things like that nature. It's up to you, but I think that Cobalion actually wouldn't be that bad as a manual Sandstorm setter, and it definitely would come out of nowhere for your opponent. I definitely could also see this being really useful in like a draft league kind of setting. If you play draft league or anything like that, I definitely could see this putting in a ton of work and being a manual sand setter. So yeah, that is going to be all for today's episode of Competitive Decks. Thank you guys so much for watching. Now, make sure that you tune in tomorrow because we are starting a new series, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I'm just going to say it's going to be pretty fun. It's going to be awesome. I think you guys are really going to like it. Make sure you watch episode 1 of that series, and it's going to be great. I think you guys are really going to like it. So anyway, thank you so much for watching today, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.